one of your team members is in need of assistance.
Which one? Sonar!
Why are you sending a distress call when you haven't left the building?
Could you send a locksmith downstairs?
What happened?
Coop seduced me.
No. I said, hey, want to see something cool, and then handcuffed you to a squad rep.
My girlfriend asked me if Dispatch was a show or a game. As most of the games my girlfriend asked me about, my answer was, why don't you play it and decide for yourself?
I'm gonna be like, wait, no, but this chapter is not done.
The truth is that depending on how you play it, Dispatch can range from being a superhero revenge story to a workplace rom-com. It's really all up to who's playing.
I'm getting in there. I'm getting my hands dirty.
It's a game that feels fresh every time you play it, and even fresher when you watch someone else pick it up for the first time. It's best enjoyed shared, so the pressing question this week was what kind of an adventure would ensue when making the Woman Mecha again? The story of Dispatch begins with Robert Robertson, a hero with no powers. He fights as Mecha Man using a mech suit built by his father.
So I'm going after Shroud because he killed my dad?
We join him on a mission to hunt down Shroud, his arch nemesis, and the man responsible for killing his father. In the first mission, Robert gets to really show off the suit, along with all the cool things he can do.
Whoa!
He infiltrates Shroud's base in order to confront him and avenge his dad. But this henchman named Toxic is waiting for him instead.
Where the fuck is Shroud?
He'll be here in a bit.
So, hilariously, Taryn played the censored version of the game since we live streamed her entire adventure over on Twitch. And this is how they decided to censor it.
Is that a censor?
I actually haven't seen the censor.
You can call me Toxic, bro.
Would that be what I think it is?
Speaking of, give us a follow over on Twitch if you'd like to see future playthroughs. And while you're down there clicking links, consider giving us a like and subscribe. It makes girl happy.
I don't even know what's going on right now.
I just wanted to explain it for the folks who didn't realize the game had a censored mode, and also because I don't want credit for the shoddy censoring job. I would have done something way more interesting, like pasting Terrence's face over everything. Then again, I guess I could still do that. My girlfriend and Robert do a good job fighting the villains, but unfortunately Shroud planned for this. He set a trap for them, and before they knew it, the mecha suit's caught in a real bind.
Shit, no! Not the mech suit!
Shroud is after the Astral Pulse, the fuel cell that powers the suit. But before he can get it, Robert's able to pull off a quick escape. At least that's what my girlfriend thought.
Uh-oh, they put something on me! It's an armed bomb!
In the wake of the crash, it seems Robert's time as a hero may be over. He holds a press conference discussing the state of his suit and how he may have to retire as a hero.
I didn't hear a question.
Despite all that, the fiery heart of a hero never stops beating, and there's someone who's looking for him.
No!
This is the blonde Blazer, and unsurprisingly my girlfriend's favorite character.
Thank you.
I like her.
One of them is on that roof.
She's sort of like a superwoman type of hero, and her rescuing Robert isn't just a coincidence. She's been out looking for him and invites him out for a drink.
Because I was hoping, after some drinks to loosen you up, I could learn a little more about you.
Robert's brought to a hero bar, and right away we can see that not everyone deems him an actual hero. After causing a ruckus with some of the other patrons, my girlfriend makes a bit of a scene.
Sorry. Which way was that?
Robert gets himself thrown out of the bar and has to wait for Blazer outside.
What happened in
Well, you
there?
brought me to a superhero bar, and someone felt very uppity about it.
Once she finds him, she flies them to a billboard overlooking the Hollywood sign, and my girlfriend, still thinking she's on a date, takes her shot.
I did not read the room. Okay, well, I read half the room.
I'm sorry if I gave the wrong impression.
Oh no.
So as it turns out, Blazer isn't here for romance. She has a job opportunity for Robert.
Unprofessional. I'm not sure that applies to this.
I'm actually here on official business.
Well, darn, this is awkward.
I would like to make you an offer. In exchange for dispatching and mentoring some of our rookie
They
heroes,
could rebuild my suit?
SDN can make you Mecha Man again.
Mixed signals aside, Blazer's part of a hero dispatch agency called SDN. And since he's out of commission with his broken suit, she's asking for his help at the agency.
Your experience, your work ethic, your perspective, it's all invaluable.
With no way of helping people out in the field, my girlfriend decides she's up to the challenge of leading the next generation of heroes. But first, she's got to find a way down from here.
Is there a ladder or...
Before we go any further, quick question for you. How's your finger? Mine's feeling pretty fancy. Eee! Today's video is sponsored by Patrick Adair, who partnered with us to bring you the Boy Meets Girl ring for some Boy Meets Girl bling. Now, before anyone gets any funny ideas, no, Nick has not proposed. What's taking him so long anyways? Despite that, as someone who's big into jewelry, I could not pass up on designing my own custom ring. They use the coolest materials, and despite my indecisive track record, I finally landed on meteorite. If being out of this world wasn't cool enough, it also glows. One of the most important things I look for when picking a ring is to make sure it won't get in my way, because I use my hands a lot. And I'm telling you, this is now the most comfortable one I own. So like I said, how's your finger? If your answer wasn't glamorous, then we've got you covered. You can find the Boy Meets Girl ring we designed or make your own with the link down in the description. Don't forget to use our code to get 20% off your order.
Their first day working at SDN is an eventful one. In the lobby, my girlfriend gets acquainted with a hero named Waterboy, who's also interviewing for a job at SDN.
Okay, let me...
Oh, he's trying to do a tie.
She also learns that some of the heroes from the bar the previous night are employed here as well.
Oh, not this guy again.
Blazer comes and pulls her aside before asking her to change out of her hero costume and into some civilian clothes.
Take your clothes off.
What?
What's happening right now?
I don't want too many people knowing you're Mecha Man.
Ignoring the implications of her boss asking her to strip down in front of her, multiple HR violations seem to be a staple at SDN, as my girlfriend will soon come to learn.
Ah, she can see the reflection.
Regardless of that, Robert has been assigned to the Z Team, a group of former villains who are trying to turn over a new leaf and use their powers for good. The catch is that many are villains that Robert helped bring down during his Mecha Man days, hence why Blazer wants to keep his identity under wraps.
Yeah, I'd like to keep things professional.
That's all well and good, but keeping it under wraps quickly falls apart when we learn that someone else has been here watching us the whole time.
Are you serious?
What? Someone was in here? That is an HR violation.
Who locks a conference room?
This is Invisigal, the hero with the worst ranking at the entire agency and a member of Robert's team. She's a rebellious one and a little hot-headed, so her knowing our superhero identity puts my girlfriend on edge.
We take former supervillains, such as herself.
I don't think she should know my identity. I'm not okay with that.
Are those my earrings?
Invisigal is a bit of an instigator, something that my girlfriend gets enough of living with me, but hopefully they can find a way to get along.
She called herself Invisibitch when she was a villain. We're trying to rebrand her.
While using the restroom before his shift, Robert meets a guy named Royd. It turns out Royd also knows his Mecha Man identity, and my girlfriend is realizing how loose the lips are in this office.
You one funny bugger.
Is he gonna become my office bestie? How did you know?
Royd turns out to be chill though, and reveals he knows Robert's identity since he's the one who's been assigned to repair the mecha suit for him.
Can you show me again? I don't think I can.
The last person we meet is this old guy Chase.
Holy shit. Who's this freckled-faced fuck?
Whoa!
That's an aggressive way to greet someone.
Well, it turns out he's not actually all that old, and he's not actually really named Chase.
I'm sorry, do I know you?
The hero formerly called Trackstar, and the one who babysat Robert as a kid, goes by Chase at the office.
Why are you accepting hugs from old men you don't know?
Why you accepted hugs from old men you don't know?
Here, so keep it.
It was his recommendation that got Robert this gig in the first place, and that's enough for my girlfriend to like him.
Was he always like this?
Yes, actually.
Chase has become elderly as a side effect of his powers, and since he can't use them anymore, or risk dying, he's retired from the front lines.
Then how old are you really?
I turned 39 a few months ago.
Damn!
He'll be making dispatch calls alongside Robert, and if nothing else, it's nice to have a friend in the office.
We joke, we laugh, we suppress our trauma. All right, enough of this feeling shit. Let's introduce you to your team of losers.
Why are you hugging old men you don't know?
That was a whole lot of introductions, but we've still yet to even meet our team.
Review my hero. Oh, I'm unzipping the files, Nick.
I mentioned before how dispatch feels more like watching a show than playing a game. It's actually not a big surprise, considering it started out as exactly that.
So, brains, punchy and a little runny, mega runny. I feel like I'm describing eggs.
I was about to say, how do you take your villains, Taryn? Punchy and a little runny. Plans for the show were repurposed into what we have today, and frankly, the addition of choice to Robert's journey makes for quite an interesting story.
Hey team, this is your dispatcher, Robert Robertson. I'm starting my first shift.
I know, I was like, they're gonna laugh at my name.
The gameplay really boils down to 3 forms. The first is the dispatch minigame, which is probably the most fun of the bunch.
Get these idiots out of my bar before they destroy
Oh,
it.
and don't send the flaming asshole! Do not recommend him!
Mecha Man.
And he kicked Flambe's ass.
What's cool about it is it's where a lot of story happens, and relationships between the different characters and Robert are put on full display.
I'll take Wednesday.
Tuesday.
Dibs on Monday.
What are you guys talking about?
We're taking bets on when you'll quit.
It's a nice blend of gameplay and storytelling, disguised as a boring desk job that isn't all that boring.
Flambe, you're off route.
What? Where's Flambe going? Did I send him somewhere? I don't think I actually sent him anywhere. Did he just... He set it on fire!
Did you start that fire?
The second form is hacking.
I'm in, boys. I'm in.
Robert's a tech whiz, and even without his suit, there's a lot of good he can do from the comfort of his chair.
Still got it.
Yeah, I do.
Let's see if I can do this.
Hacking minigames are peppered throughout the dispatch journey, and while they feel high stakes in the moment, they're really to add flavor to the story more than anything else.
I just fixed a toilet, bitch. If anyone has a bidet, I got you. I'm your gal.
The final form of gameplay is actually entirely optional, and that's the quick time events on the screen during cutscenes. I wouldn't hold it against anyone for just straight up turning these off. I had my girlfriend leave them on because I thought it would give her a little more to do, but really they were more of a distraction than anything. Oh, you missed it. Okay, wait, lock in.
I'm trying.
Towards the end of her first shift, Invisigal goes off on her own to answer a call at a donut shop.
Granny, no!
There's a villain here named Lightning Struck, and my girlfriend has to help defuse the situation by instructing Invisigal. Things enter a stalemate when the shop owner picks up one of the weapons, and my girlfriend has to choose who to tell Invisigal to disarm. The irony here being that no matter who she picks, Invisigal will go after the opposite, and the villain will get away.
She just took off the comms!
It's a rough first day on the job, and my girlfriend is starting to see what a handful she's gotten her and Robert into.
Look, I actually just came by to celebrate the mission going well.
But it didn't.
Interrupt your little snack.
Invisigal continues to be difficult to work with, and since my girlfriend doesn't mince her words, Robert ends up with a fist to the jaw.
Damn!
My girlfriend takes the day in stride and tells Chase and Blazer that she sees potential in the team.
I'm not saying everyone will make it. They won't. I'm not saying it won't get spicy. It will. But when it does, I also need you to trust me.
This is
handle
the
it. I don't
underdog
want you
speech
stepping
that I
in and
love.
disrespect me, even if I don't have powers.
The blonde Blazer walks her out, and just when my girlfriend was thinking of putting the moves on her again, things got a whole lot more complicated when her boyfriend shows up.
Oh, I want to grab dinner with her so bad.
I'm really glad I'm here too.
But this morning she told me, be
Actually,
professional.
there's something I've been meaning to tell you.
So I'm gonna
It's a little
do that.
awkward to mention, but since the other night,
Blonde Blazer. Are you ready to go?
Robert, this is my boyfriend, Phenomena Man.
Yeah, so come to find out, Blazer's already in a relationship with Phenomena Man. You know, the face of SDN.
She said you're a capable, honorable man that truly cares for others. Why are you so small?
Hey, come on. You gotta stop asking about that.
The way you spoke of him made him sound impressive.
It turns out my girlfriend was sort of unintentionally making Robert a philanderer this whole time.
He flies a little faster.
She decided to play it cool and lay off the office romance for now, and frankly, SDN's already flirty enough without her help, so good call. Better luck tomorrow. Today's shift is a tough one because at the start of the day, Blazer tells my girlfriend and Robert they'll need to cut a team member. Basically, someone from the bottom of the hero rankings gotta go, and it'll be my girlfriend's say by the end of the day.
I'm going to cut someone from the Z team.
What?
Or you are, rather.
The big catch here is that the rest of the team was told this info too, and so everyone is sabotaging each other during the morning shift.
I suppose it'll be an interesting shift.
The only silver lining is that Robert's lovable dog Beef is coming into the office today, and Beef makes everything better.
Oh, they're gonna get along.
Beef!
Oh, I love Beef.
Everyone in the office fell in love with the little guy, including my girlfriend, who kept accidentally calling him Meat.
What's your name, little guy?
Is he gonna be our mascot?
Instead of feeling like a dispatcher this shift, my girlfriend said she felt more like a babysitter.
What a bunch of bullshit.
Sorry, what's bullshit?
Judgy bullshit.
How is that?
Yeah, only God can judge me.
Okay, false. I'm judging you right now.
Bullshit. It's not like you gotta deal with this kind of bullshit.
Also false. Of course I'm being judged along with the rest of you. Do you not know what a job is?
Well, let's not forget, these are former villains, so is it really all that surprising they'd sink to underhanded tactics to try and get ahead?
I'm like not only dealing with basically children who are actively like throwing fits.
No one wants to be let go, but rather than work harder to climb the ranking, they're trying to put their friends down instead.
I'm sending Punch up to help out.
What's a guy gotta do?
Yes.
Rise up the ranks around here.
Oh my god! Okay, I'm sending them solo. Are you kidding me?
To make matters worse, Girl went a week without playing between Chapter 2 and 3, so she was struggling to remember how dispatching worked, and the saboteurs certainly weren't helping.
No! We were sabotaged from within the team. I'm so confused as to what's happening. This is a very difficult situation to come back to after a week. Okay.
Things all come to a head when Invisigal goes out of her way to sabotage Malevola while she's chasing after Lightning Struck, the donut villain from before. Robert makes a good point that this is the second time she's let him get away, but it's an especially bad look because Invisigal's already firmly at the bottom of the ranking.
Yeah, so the perp that just ran by was Lightning Struck. This is now the second time that you let him get away.
That's crazy.
Deciding enough was enough, Robert calls the entire team in for a much-needed meeting. He gives them a pep talk, not before demanding their respect first, though.
I understand you're big, but you need to be considerate of the people around you.
He could see the potential of this team, and to some extent, so could my girlfriend. They rallied the crew for a stronger second shift.
Have a better second shift.
The nice thing is, most of the team whips into shape, but having already accepted that she's going to be cut from the roster, Invisigal's not really got her heart in it.
Let's send in Invisigal. Oh, no?
Robert is an emotionally mature mentor and helps motivate her to at least go out giving it her best shot if this is going to be her last day.
Oh, get out of here. At least you were born with powers. I don't have shit. So according to your dumbass theory, I should be an accountant.
The infamous donut villain is robbing a jewelry store near her location, and this is her chance to not let him get away for a third time.
You really want to let this idiot get one over on you a third time?
They have to work together to nail this guy. My girlfriend can hack into the network to switch on and off the lights to blind him so Invisigal can get hits in. By working together as an actual team, she's able to finally take him out this time.
That's the one. Would have been better if you said it first.
The heist is thwarted, and the whole team celebrates Invisigal's success. It's sort of bittersweet since they know they're saying goodbye to her, except it turns out they won't be.
So, it's between Sonar and Coop.
Wait,
What?
no, what?
Invisigal's still at the bottom of the board.
Catching that villain bumped her up the ranking just enough that now it's Coop and Sonar with their heads on the chopping block.
But I like
These
Coop
two
and
are now
Sonar.
tied for last place.
Ah!
Who do we cut?
My girlfriend will have to pick from the two of them to decide who to cut.
Ah! I have to
Support it all the
choose. Oh. I'm sorry, Coop.
Coop.
She ended up cutting Coop because she needed Sonar as her most intelligent team member, at least half the time. Saying that Coop didn't take it well is an understatement. Do we have insurance for that?
I don't know. She worked really well with one of the characters. Hi, Sonar.
Sonar will remember that.
Uh-huh.
Letting people go is the hardest part of the job, but at the end of the day, she kept things professional. If nothing else, she's earned a lot of respect from the rest of her team, including its rowdiest member.
Uh-huh. Don't look, don't look, don't look. God damn it. She got embarrassed. That was really cute, actually.
As far as HR violations go, this episode may have the most. Getting right into it, as soon as she boots up her computer for the day, it starts blasting videos that are contrary to what you're seeing right now, not Boy Meets Girl.
What happened? Did someone hack my computer?
In the wake of letting Coupe go, Punch Up, one of my girlfriend's favorite team members, is a little upset at her since he and Coop were apparently an item.
They used to date.
That's why they worked so well together.
The team is down a member today, so the shift is tough. My girlfriend's going to need to field a replacement, and fast.
Blazer's looking at backfilling your open spot with Man or Waterboy.
What?
You should think about who you'd want.
Famama Man?
One of them is the poster boy of SDN, and the other
And
guy
then
kicks
Waterboy? I want Waterboy.
My girlfriend was a little wary of Phenomena Man since he was romantically involved with her boss, but it turns out that Blazer dumped him over sushi sometime after the events of episode 2.
Man and I broke up.
Wait, she just broke up with him?
He's also been taking the breakup really hard.
Oh, goodness. Is he feeling sad because she broke up with him?
Regardless of who my girlfriend intends to pick, Blazer asks her to go and talk some sense into Phenomena Man down in the parking lot.
Oh,
Downtown
no.
range dropped in. Indefinite suspension.
Is that your car?
I don't have a car.
That's gonna be a weird insurance claim.
She wasn't really sure what to expect from him since she only talked to him the one time, but Phenomena Man turns out to be a pretty nice guy.
The blonde Blazer and I have ended our relationship.
Uh-huh.
At the bare minimum, it was nice to clear the air between the two and learn that there are no hard feelings.
It seems the velocity with which I sat up has shot shards of glass into your chest.
Oh, my God. Ow.
Shit.
Oh.
My girlfriend actually enjoyed her chat with him enough that she actually ended up deciding to add him to the Z team to see if she could make the man Phenomena again.
Hi.
A moment
Mama
of your
Mom.
time.
How do you move so quiet?
I float.
Even a hard decision.
Oh.
You're a legend. You should be out doing good.
I feel like his back just had
good,
to.
you need to be doing.
I got what I
That's for the
wanted.
human.
He's a strong addition to the team, but also comes with the caveat of being unstable. If the team fails a mission, he gets depressed and becomes unusable.
Why is he out?
Those freaks nasty. Possums aren't pets, man.
Easily depressed.
He's the type of character that can be really strong when used correctly, but judging by this first shift, she's gonna need some practice before she gets there.
This is not going well.
At the end of her shift, my girlfriend is given another big decision, but this kind is way more up her alley. What I mean is that for once a big decision in one of these games isn't going to end up with someone dying. This time, the decision is about love. Invisigal snuck into a movie theater and Robert can leave the office and go and join her. On the other hand, Blonde Blazer invited Robert out to dinner. This is the primary decision that sets her on the path of romance with one of the women.
Oh, movie or dinner with two different gals. Enjoy your movie, Invisigal. I'm hungry. I want some dinner.
Being a little biased, she opted for dinner with Blazer.
They really asked me the loaded question.
See you tomorrow. No spoilers.
Robert meets her in the ATN courtyard, and she wears the dress from the gala he helped her with earlier in the day. It's on this date where she reveals her secret identity, and more importantly, the secret identity of her hair.
She's not blonde.
I'm sorry.
You're disappointed.
Are you kidding?
It turns out she's been the brunette Blazer this entire time. My girlfriend felt a little silly for all the time she said that Blazer was literally her, but to be fair, now Blazer looks exactly like her sister, so she remains just as likable.
Okay, maybe
This
if I wasn't
is
called
my
Blonde
sister.
Blazer,
Maybe the sister comparison was why she didn't have Robert kiss her here, but that remains to be seen. For now, she can clock out of SDN today feeling proud of her
Thank you
decisions.
like
Then I should have kissed her, but I was trying to be
Just wanted to hear you
respectful.
say it.
Yeah.
I'm Mandy.
She's Mandy.
Robert.
That's
It's
so
really nice to meet you,
cute.
Andy.
Mandy and Robert.
Episode 5 marks the halfway point of the series and is my personal favorite. It seems like my girlfriend liked it a lot too.
Oh, I love a good training montage.
It's business as usual at SDN, but after their shift, the crew invites Robert out for drinks with them. My girlfriend thought that sounded like a nice way to blow off some steam, but there's a catch. They're all going to a villain bar.
They want to get a drink with me after work.
I mean, the Sardines of Villain Bar, not sure I'd fit in.
This is a fun contrast to the hero bar we saw all the way back in episode 1, and the establishment feels comically evil. Pun very much intended.
Oh man, Robert and I are not gonna fit in too good, but we're gonna give it our best.
Choosing to wear his SDN uniform was a bold choice on his part, but what can I say? The man's got brass.
Can't have
Aww.
that outside.
Despite the team always giving him a hard time, it's clear they've warmed up a bit and are starting to like him more.
I didn't really realize my guys were gonna be spread out at different tables. I thought we were gonna be like at a table together. Damn, she just won the arm wrestling!
Throughout this episode, Robert's been having these flashbacks to his hero days fighting villains. In particular, he's been reflecting on a battle he had with a suspiciously flame-throwing villain. And sitting across from Invisigal, he finally admits that the battle was with Flambe.
Oh my god, I cut off his finger!
Bitch, my name's Robert.
How's your finger?
I thought we lost her working in a deli or something.
The team has been pressing him for his hero identity, but Robert has been understandably hesitant to share his true identity with the team because he's afraid of how they'll react.
So you can see why I'm worried about getting
Yes, I think it'd be a very different song.
Before he can share more, a small-armed villain rolls up on their table and starts throwing a fit.
Hey, bud, let me buy you a drink.
No one's talking to you, fucking.
The guy seems to know Invisigal, and despite Robert trying to de-escalate the situation, a fight breaks out.
Whoa! Guys, you really need to be better at picking after-work locations.
When he finally comes to, he and the rest of the team are outside of what might be a Taco Bell, and the whole team is ordering takeout.
I am happy to provide these inauthentic Mexican calories for the team to recharge after battle.
Like, I think I need some inauthentic Mexican calories for dinner.
It's all a bit fuzzy, but memories of what happened start coming back as folks eat.
And then Grisom's just singing.
As chaotic as the battle in the bar got, it shows a cohesion in the team and proves that they've become better at working together.
Oh man, what happened next on our wild night out?
Robert makes a good point about their fight, reminding them that they're heroes now.
Heroes don't start fights. You finish them.
I like that line.
Inspiring speeches aside, the question finally comes back around to what his super identity is. And my girlfriend finally has the choice to tell the team.
We're telling them.
You're right. It's a front.
Oh man, they're not gonna
This
like
guy,
it though.
Robert is a mask. He's
He's
not real.
not gonna be happy.
But the difference between this team getting by and this team being great is trust. So you should get to know the real me.
The next shift probably won't go well, but then it'll go well.
I'm Mecha Man.
No fucking way. Can't be.
Could be. That's like a real superhero.
Flambe responds about how Robert expected him to, but luckily her team has got her back.
Who's gonna block him? Is it Golem? Is it Golem? It's Golem!
Even after hitting him in the face with a chair a few episodes ago, Golem is proving the value of that drink Robert brought him.
Yup. Thanks for the drink.
So,
Flambe storms off in anger, and the rest of the team laughs it off. How's your finger?
What a fucking loser.
Not sure what to say next, it's actually Invisigal who breaks the silence by revealing her secret identity to everyone, and the rest of the team decides to follow suit.
My name's Courtney.
Hi, Courtney!
nice to meet you, Courtney.
It seems like despite this outing beginning as a bit of a mess, the team grew closer for it.
Anybody have another packet of that stuff?
Roy's been hard at work trying to make the man Mecha again, and it seems like he's finally come up with a prototype replacement for the Astral Pulse. Robert fires up the suit, and for a moment it seems like he might be back to crime fighting.
Superhero pose!
I knew you were gonna do superhero pose! The moment doesn't laugh though, as soon after the suit goes haywire.
Uh-oh. Oh no! Oh no! No!
What's worse is that he can't safely eject, and although Roy does his best to try and help, it's no use. He wakes up in the infirmary several hours later. Although he's alive, spirits are low, and Roy admits he doesn't think he can create the Astral Pulse. At least not in a cave with a box of scraps.
Cannot recreate the Astral Pulse. Too much power. Too small a size.
You definitely can. I
The
believe
pulse
in
mean
you.
I can't make the man Mecha.
In his absence, Blazers subbed in for Robert on the dispatch, and it seemed like the team wasn't behaving.
Yo, she's filling in!
Oh, one sec. What are you doing up?
Aww. That is what I'm talking about, Chase.
They take it easy riffing on Robert today since he's injured, but we're still down a Flambe from his tantrum at the taco stand the night before.
Immediately gets depressed. Just love that for me.
It's a rough shift, and my girlfriend felt like she needed a nap afterwards.
So that oh my god. I get it now. Why did it take me so many chapters?
I guess Robert may have felt the same.
See a life without Mecha Man.
I'm talking to meat.
Which I'm sure you would appreciate.
No rest for the weary, though, because surprise, surprise, the team shows up at Robert's place with lamps and a plan.
Why are we
It's a
holding a
housewarming
lamp?
gift for your
A
housewarming
house?
party, Robert.
We have a housewarming party?
Wait, people? More people are coming
I'm in
here?
my underwear!
It turns out the astral pulse wasn't actually destroyed in his crash, and believe it or not, it's actually been spotted all over Torrance.
Figured it out, brother. The man can be Mecha again.
With everyone's help, they work to track down its current location at an old warehouse on the west side of town. Invisigal wants to go and retrieve it now, but aside from the team not being prepared, they don't have the proper clearance either.
Can't shoot what you can't see. Look, this is really great work, but doing this tonight is out of the question.
An argument breaks out, and Chase steps in and lets everyone know how he really feels about Invisigal.
You are no fucking hero.
Whoa, hey!
She named you Invisigal, you named yourself Invisibitch, and you had it fucking right.
Chase, you're drunk. You need to stop talking.
That really soured the evening. In fact, Chase was so mad, our stream actually crashed.
You mean Mecha Man to be a hero?
No! What a crash. All right, launch it back up.
What happened?
I don't know. That was weird.
It's because we were talking about going in there without backup.
The villains caught on, Taryn. They found out. Once we got things back up and working, my girlfriend was excited to see that Flambe showed up to the party, albeit a little late for any celebrations.
Invisigal.
He brought a lamp!
So, I might have to do that once a month or so.
While cleaning up after the party, Robert and my girlfriend run into Chase outside, who came back to apologize. He opens up to Robert a bit about how he's feeling and questions whether or not Vizzy's actually trying to be a hero. Just when it seemed like the dust was going to settle and things are mellowing out, the computer hums to life. It's the facility they located the pulse at, and Invisigal decided to go off on her own to retrieve it by herself.
Oh, jeez.
The place is in complete chaos, and my girlfriend and Robert have to help clean things up and finish the mission in the process. After a few hacking puzzles, they're able to point Invisigal to the office the pulse is being stored in and help her crack the safe. Not all is well, though, as after retrieving the pulse, the warehouse falls dead silent.
Invisigal, stop.
No!
Invisigal's powers only work when she holds her breath, and Shroud separates her from her inhaler to stop her from disappearing.
Come on, you got this, girl, you got this. No!
Things look dire as without the inhaler, her asthma's acting up, and it starts seeming like we're going to lose a lot more than the astral pulse if this mission fails. Invisigal clearly isn't going to make it if someone doesn't come up with an idea quick.
Keep up.
Jeez! Oh! He's doing it! He's doing it! Jeez!
Okay. Yeah, you're good.
With one last heroic sprint from Trackstar, Invisigal is given a second chance.
Oh no! Jeez!
Where's my fucking keys?
Oh!
Chase is currently hooked up to a bunch of machines in the SDN infirmary that are keeping him alive, but the overuse of his powers has left him incapacitated.
Chase! We need beef in here.
Robert is understandably shook up by this and worried about his old friend. Despite the circumstances, he's still got a job to do, and all they can do for now is wait and see if Chase will wake up.
Pending the investigation, Invisigal suspended.
It's a somber day at the office, and the morning shift reflects that.
Come on, please! Don't do this to me! I did not see that coming.
Invisigal isn't here since she's been suspended for acting out on her own, and all the other heroes are worried about Chase. On top of that, it's raining, so there are several water-related crises. Too bad she didn't pick Waterboy.
Yes! I finally landed one of those! Our boy!
To make matters worse, Blazer asked Robert to cut Invisigal from the team, and he's been wrestling with it all day. Ultimately, it'll come down to my girlfriend's decision, but she also cares how her team feels.
What the hell just happened? Was that Punch Up, you have glass in your arm?
They all held a meeting after the shift without him and gave their input.
We want her out.
We basically took a board vote. That's why we're in the boardroom.
I abstained from voting as I am neither human nor reformed villain, nor particularly interested in this conversation. I only came in as I thought we were playing Magic the Gathering tonight.
Wanting to do right by the rest of the group, and honestly having butted heads a few too many times with her already, my girlfriend made her choice.
So, I'm not putting all of that at risk for one person who can't keep up. I've done my best to salvage things and work with her, but as you know, this isn't the first time Invisigal has put us at risk. But it'll be the last.
Damn.
In typical Invisigal fashion, she was hiding in the room the entire time.
Oh, she was here! She was here! Unless someone left that I didn't see.
Maybe it was just the wind. We track her down to the dressing room where she's cleaning out her locker.
Sorry, I can come back.
At first, it seems like she's being her typical sarcastic self, but what she's actually sharing is sincere.
Nothing I do will ever make up for what I've already done to you.
She's been carrying a lot of guilt because it turns out she's a former member of Shroud's gang.
Oh my god, she was here! It's all coming together. Yeah! I really feel like your asthma would improve if you quit smoking, just saying.
She wasn't just there, actually. It's kind of her whole fault.
Oh my god. Oh my god!
Quit the moment I placed it.
That upper arm strength, holy shit.
I walked out before it even blew.
With that truth bomb exploding in his face, Robert isn't really sure what to do next. Of all the things he could have done, the last thing my girlfriend was expecting was for him to hit up that villain bar again full of red ring goons from a couple episodes ago.
Why would you go to a villain bar?
He gets into a slight altercation with the bartender. But frankly, that's the least of his worries.
Whoa! Beard guy was not messing around.
It turns out he's been sharing a drink with Shroud of all people, and the whole bar gangs up on him. Not to mention, an old friend my girlfriend let go way back in episode 3 still hasn't gotten over it.
Obviously, you two don't need an introduction.
With pleasure.
Coop!
After trying to beat the info about the astral pulse out of him, it becomes clear Shroud didn't actually steal it from Invisigal that night, which means she still has it apparently, and her intentions are a bit unclear. Just when things are looking dire, my girlfriend's girlfriend shows up and bails her out.
It's my babe!
Blazer strikes a power pose and scares off the ruffians.
I'm taking a lot of you with me.
She's being a baddie!
Or half of you can die here.
Okay, we're out of here.
They end up back on the billboard where all this started, but can't rest for long.
Hey,
Are
look!
you sure he's right about Invisigal?
The city goes up in flames as Shroud launches an all-out attack on Torrance, and it seems like my girlfriend is going to be working overtime for the final episode.
Get me on the comms now.
The finale of Dispatch kicks off right in the heart of the fire. The entire city is in utter chaos, and half our team isn't even here yet. This is the longest shift by a mile, if you can even call it a shift.
Damn, she's a baddie!
My typing not the best, but you look like you can use the help.
Yes,
We can
Royd!
use whatever you can give.
Yeah, fist bumps!
For starters, only 3 of our heroes are even awake.
Is it just the 3?
Shit, is this it?
What's unique about this shift of dispatching is that the city has a health bar, and every time she fails a mission, it will go down. Things start out rough with not enough hands on deck to complete the call-ins, but as she plays through the day, more of her crew will fill out the roster.
Oh, I found flambe. Rescue flambe.
Be careful,
Oh,
we don't
he's
know what's
not
going on
safe.
in the
Okay.
refinery or what's happening to Flambe.
Probably the biggest saving grace of all of this was that Golem showed up to work on time and has quietly climbed the ranks as her favorite hero.
Go, Golem. We are, baby.
Sorry I'm late. I was on Do Not Disturb. Anyway,
Thank you,
what I miss?
Malevola.
For reasons beyond boyfriend understanding, my girlfriend spent all of Golem's points on mobility on level up because she complained she didn't have any fast team members.
Honestly, I'm gonna see if I can make him fast.
Golem's gonna be fast. We want the fastest Golem possible. Barring the fact that Flambe and Invisigal are naturally pretty quick, the implication that this heaping clay mass can hoof it down the sidewalk faster than anyone else on the team is as hilarious as it is terrifying.
He's so good speedy. Or runny.
Still a little short-handed since letting Invisigal go the day before, Robert decides to make a bold choice.
Give me 1 second.
It's all hands on deck, and with the city burning, this is Waterboy's time to shine.
Everything in the city is on fire.
We need you to go put it out.
You are the most valuable man in Los Angeles.
Since most of the city's on fire, Waterboy has a lot of character-unique rescue options that came in clutch when she needed them.
Put out the fires quick.
That's our boy.
That's our boy.
The team was really putting their best foot forwards here, and my girlfriend picked up some good momentum. The thing that halted her in her tracks was when an explosion on the outer edge of town expanded their work area and stretched them thin again.
They just blew up like a bunch of the city.
Get a load of my new friends.
The culprit, of course, was none other than Coop, who was still salty about being let go in place of Sonar.
If we want to save this city, we need to take Coop down. Without her, Red Ring will scramble.
Why? Is she that important?
Dealing with Coop kind of plays out like a boss fight, where the team will need to dedicate firepower to her side of the map while still juggling the incoming calls from the rest of Torrance.
Well, so you have Malevola, or because these two ladies are equal brainy, so you have more speed and defendy, or like the interrogatey.
Each successful assault on Coop lowers her health a bit and also quells her attacks for some time. Not going to lie, my girlfriend was struggling to keep the city safe during all this, and Torrance's health was looking particularly bad at this section.
Traffic between Santa Monica and Torrance?
It's miserable.
That's gonna take you hours, and the streets are currently being blown up, so that's even gonna be longer.
I was on the edge of my seat, not sure if she was gonna be able to pull it off, but thankfully, backup arrived just when she needed it.
Evil! Yo! What just happened?
Wait a second. Blazer. Slumming it with the Phoenix program.
That was awesome!
Damn, Blazer's here!
Yeah!
I say, I'm still not done seeing
She's on the call!
Well, that's great because I'm in deep shit pretty much constantly.
That was the best thing ever.
Time like this.
Please don't go to Pressy. I need you. I need you. I'm praying to all the mom aliens. I need you. Do not go to Pressy, please.
With Blonde Blazer now available for dispatching, she had some muscle on the team, and it was just enough to whittle Coop down the rest of the way. With the whole team working together, they managed to keep the city alive, if not only by a thread.
There's no health left in Torrance. Oh.
Hey, great work, team. Couple more calls and we're...
The power went out!
The Red Ring is now attacking SDN directly, and all contact with the Z team has been cut off. In a mad panic, Robert and my girlfriend go with Royd and try to get the suit up and running. They intercept Invisigal, who has the real astral pulse, and Royd isn't convinced she's not just here to steal the suit for herself.
What is going on?
Trusted you, Vizzy. You were wrong for this. I defended for you.
What?
I didn't do anything.
Despite having been mistrusting of her for most of the game, my girlfriend cuts Vizzy free and lets her help Robert get suited up. She proves to be on our side, at least for now, so good choice, girl.
Go get your suit.
Wait, shouldn't we stick together? I hate it when she does that.
Back in his mecha suit, Robert is able to throw hands for the first time since the first episode. Shroud is here too, with a discount mecha suit of his own that looks kind of like a giant spider. He's got the Astral Pulse light fueling it, but it still proves to be a challenge for my girlfriend and Robert to deal with alone.
He's a red pulse.
Thankfully, they won't have to because they've spent 8 episodes building a team together and everyone has regrouped at SDN.
What? What just happened? This is so cool! Yo, my boys! Hell yeah, let's go Z-Team! They're like, we're going back to base. We can't hear the comms.
The heroes all collaborate to take out the minions and to bully Shroud a bit too. He's a formidable villain though, and keeps outsmarting them and thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. He gets a leg up on Blazer, and it seems like the tide of the fight may be going in the Red Ring's favor. That is until an unexpected hero joins the fray.
was that?
Shroud's got a new suit now? What the fuck? How long was I out?
Blazer.
She's okay! And everyone knows she's brunette now!
My amulet, so I figured he wouldn't see it coming.
With that move, Shroud has nowhere to run, and the team can take him out for good.
Hi, you found us! We're such badasses! Yo! That's like a firestorm! Who's in the car? Yo! Let's go, Mandy! Let's go, Mizzy! Yo! Yo, they're working together! She just flipped him off! Yeah! Goodbye! I would have been so disappointed if I missed that. Oh my god. Stop making me click buttons! I'm trying to enjoy the scene! Woo! Fireworks!
There's not time for celebration just yet, though, as Shroud has one final trick up his sleeve.
Oh! No! He has beef!
Not wanting anything to happen to Beef, my girlfriend has no choice but to hand over the pulse in exchange for her dog. The one problem with Shroud's plan, though, was that he thought he could predict my girlfriend. As someone who spent several years trying to figure out how to do just that myself, that was a misplay on his part.
What the fuck is this, Robert? Fucking identical, Robert. Look.
Frustrated with how chaotic my girlfriend can be, Shroud decides to throw a coin toss and slot one of the pulses in his head.
Maybe we wait till we get home? Shut the fuck up!
Fuck you.
You're really... That's worth it?
Unfortunately for him, the coin didn't land the way he was hoping.
Uh-oh. Fuck! Wait.
What?
Much, but I'm starting to think that you guys wrong.
My girlfriend has one final big choice here. Is she going to kill Shroud and avenge her father, or be a model hero for her team and spare him? Yo! What's Vizzy doing up on the roof? Okay, so my girlfriend doesn't actually get a choice here. Depending on how you play things and how well you mentor Invisigal throughout the story, you'll end up with a different ending here. This is considered by many to be the bad ending of the game because Invisigal embraces being a villain.
I think this is a good ending. No, buddy, no!
Ironically, my girlfriend didn't even realize this was a bad ending. In her opinion, she got everything she wanted. Her teammates grew, Chase and Beef were okay, Shroud is dead, the Mecha Man suit's repaired, and on top of all that, she got a smoking hot super girlfriend. She was sitting there like, what's not to like here exactly?
Is this the evil ending?
I think that that's the beauty of this game. It's a fresh experience for everyone who plays it. Even knowing what was going to happen, I didn't really know what was coming next with her in control.
I loved that. Denying you the chance to exact vengeance or show mercy. But the thing is I didn't want to do either of those things.
I mean, in a way, Taryn, you got the ending you wanted then.
Yeah.
So is Dispatch more of a game than a show? Well, with her playing, I'd say it's definitely a show.
And Everyman, your Robert always kept everyone guessing what he'll say or do next. Chat, do you concur with this statement?
With games like these, it's always difficult to capture every single decision and special moment from Terran's gameplay. But if you're hungry for more, you can find all the VODs from these streams over on our second channel, Girl Met Boy. The link will be down below. Also, don't forget to give us a follow over on Twitch so that you can catch future playthroughs live. I'd like to extend a massive thank you to our wonderful patrons and channel members who help make videos like this possible. An extra awesome shout out goes out to our six-wheelers: Daniel Rogers, Gizmo, Isaac Vogan, David Webb, Mace, Gray is Sleepy, Taco Supreme, Parav Skittles, Envy, Cry, Regulus, Serena Sane, Blaze of Fire, Mist the Fox, Blondes, Shane Boy, and Cerberus. By the time you're seeing this, I've probably replayed the entire game for Terran so that you can see all the opposite decisions from hers. We'll have to ask Future Me if his third time watching a playthrough was still fresh. Future Boy here. Yep, he's right. Not bored of this one yet. See ya.